Worlds 2024 Malta. I'm Bobby Tan from Performotion, and joining us today as our guest speaker, we have Glynnis Low from Singapore. How are you doing today?
I'm fine. I'm good. How about you?
Thanks for asking. I'm good. So, Glynnis, you punched your ticket to Worlds. I think let's get this out of the way. How do you feel about that?
Nervous.
Nervous. Okay.
Very, very nervous.
Very nervous.
Yeah. Actually didn't think that I would get the spot to Worlds. Or like getting second. But here we are. So yeah. Nervous.
What is the source of your nerves like coming to this meet?
I think it's my first international meet. So I don't know what to expect. That's the first thing. And also, I haven't done this before. So it's just something very foreign to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll get you through this. Don't worry. So, for the viewers out there, if you guys are not very familiar with her, she used to compete as a 57 and she qualified this year's Worlds as a 52. So, Glynnis, you made the decision to drop from 57 to 52. What went behind the decision?
Okay, so for the meet, when I was 57, like when I competed as a 57, I actually weighed in at like about 54, even after eating breakfast. So yeah, and then I was looking at my potential as a 57, right, at that point in time, and I was like, maybe it is better if I just cut and go down to 52. So then I tried. I did it once, and here I am. So yeah.
Right. The first time you did it, it was with me, right?
Reformed, yeah.
Yes. Okay.
The first one, yeah.
All right. So you realized your potential in the 52s, and I guess for the sake of competitiveness, you did cut down.
Yeah.
How was the process like?
I think I was definitely nervous the very first time I did a gut cut. I wasn't sure. Yeah, I was very, very nervous. Everything was just very, very foreign because like drinking 4 scoops of protein a day and eating 4 cups of ice cream, that was just something very, very new to me. And I was like, are you sure about this? But
did it work?
It did. It worked. Yeah.
Will you be as nervous for a cut?
Like now?
I guess for a cut, for a gut cut, I guess to
for gut cut. I think I'm feeling better.
Okay.
After 2 gut cuts.
So you usually tend to, I guess, feel a bit less nervous after having experienced it.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
So that explains your nerves for Worlds as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, just to double back, in your meet as a 57, it was Junior Nationals last year.
Yeah.
How do you do?
Okay. Honestly, that was my first meet ever, like ever in the powerlifting scene. I've never gone for a local meet. I actually wanted to go for one local meet, but then I missed the registration.
Was it SoFit or?
I think it was Arc Block.
Arc Block. Okay,
yeah.
2022.
23. Or something.
I think it was December 2022, I think.
Thereabouts. Yeah. Somewhere there.
So
yeah.
Yeah.
So I was just like, there's slots left for nets. Then I discussed with my coach back then. Then we were like, just go for it. Like,
right.
Just go for it.
Her, she would be pushing you to go for it as well.
Yeah, so I did.
And how was it?
It wasn't the best because I felt like imposter syndrome. Right. I just felt like everything is just very new. So yeah, but I did hit PRs. And then from there, my love for the sport just grew. So
Mm.
yeah.
And the decision to go to 57,
Mm.
despite weighing in, really like having breakfast, was this also because you and your coach discussed about this?
Yeah.
Right.
And she also said that like for the first meet, let's just not do any
Yeah,
carb.
I think that just adds on to the nerves. So
Yeah.
very good decision by her.
Mm.
And moving past nationals, you said you were having a bit of imposter syndrome. Like you felt like you didn't belong there. Maybe.
Yeah.
How did that
Um
affect your training after nationals?
like after the nationals that I
Yeah.
competed at 57, right?
Yeah.
Um okay, after that, after the first meet out of the way, I felt um definitely more eager to strive for more after seeing my numbers and like just I don't know, like feeling like my numbers are not good enough in a way. So it definitely pushed me harder to train harder to do better in a way. Yeah.
And back then, you were comparing yourself to the top 57s in the country,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess dialing back, now that you are a 52 and you are considered one of the strongest 52 juniors in Singapore, do you feel like that imposter syndrome still, uh, I guess, is it still lingering? Is it still present?
I think it is still definitely because for me, I always feel like I'm not good enough and I always have to like push for more. There's never
Mm,
really like a limit that I consider myself to be like good enough.
right.
So I always want to push for more. So the imposter syndrome is still
Still
kind
there.
of there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I guess, do you want to talk about numbers for a bit for your meets?
Yeah.
All right. So for junior nationals,
Mm.
you scored at 85. I think you bench 50 and you deadlifted 115 for a
This
total of
was for
250.
reformed, right?
For junior nationals 2023.
Oh, 2023. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So after after we started working together,
Yeah.
it was I believe it was after I competed at Worlds. So it
Yeah.
was around September.
Last year. Yeah.
And there was a meet up for us in crap. Is it November? I can't remember.
I think it was November. About
Yes,
November.
November. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess from Junior Nationals 2023 in March
Yeah.
or April, I can't remember.
March.
Yeah, in the first quarter
Yeah.
of 2023 to I guess the end of 2023. How would you say your numbers have improved?
Ooh. I think my numbers have skyrocketed
Mm,
because I think after the first meet, I have more. I get a sense of what the sport is like, and then it pushes me even harder to train harder, and also like definitely following like a very I wouldn't say structured, but I would say I follow like a certain schedule that I go by day, and that really helps with my training. So I don't know if that constitutes to my numbers being like improving and stuff like that.
Was the
So
structure was the structure related to powerlifting or was it something out of powerlifting?
I think it was just everything like school,
Mm,
powerlifting, and then after that I had swimming in varsity as well.
right.
Yeah, so everything was just very back to back. So I had to like follow very strictly. Yeah.
Okay. So now moving to reformed,
Mm,
which was the meet in November that you did.
yeah.
How did you do?
Okay. Squats, not the best. Um, I almost bombed out.
Okay.
Um, bench wanted the record. Didn't get it because of, I think, nerves. And deadlift, I was
Excuse me.
Bless you. I
Thank
was
you.
the happiest with deadlift because I got to hit my PR that
Yeah.
I've always wanted for quite a while. So yeah.
And was there a number in mind for the deadlift that you wanted to hit, or just the PR in general?
Just anything higher than my training.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe like your training deadlift back then, it was like in the 120s,
Yeah.
and
Thereabout.
you managed 135 deadlift
Yeah.
in reform. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the taper did work pretty well, and
Yeah.
yeah. So I guess you had a rocky start to the meet. You almost bombed out, and that's okay. And then it slowly got better as the meet progressed. Like you
Yeah.
made your first attempt for bench, didn't quite get the record on your third attempt, and then you moved past to getting an all-time PR for deadlift, which went really well in your favor.
Yeah.
So I guess, was there any takeaway for that meet? Like what?
Takeaway. I think to take trainings more seriously in terms of like comp standard.
Right.
Yeah. If not, I'm gonna almost bomb out again in a real competition.
Real competition.
Like the competition itself.
Right. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay, that's what you meant. I thought you.
Yeah. No, like the competition itself. The competition itself. That's what I meant.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So, I guess from you experienced almost bombing out, right?
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about how that felt in your perspective?
Oh my gosh. Oh, just so many things.
Hmm.
I think it just felt like absolute pressure. Like there's so much pressure on the third attempt because like I don't know if I'm gonna make it or not. And as an overthinker, I think, what if I don't make this? Because when I went for reformed, I wanted to qualify for nationals.
Yes, that was the goal.
Yeah. So if I didn't, I would have been devastated. Like devastated. Yeah.
And we wouldn't really be doing this episode.
Yeah.
So, to inspire all the viewers out there, how did you manage to overcome your nerves?
Oh, okay. I think that's when you stepped in and then you told me about the visualization cues. And I think that really helped. So from then onwards, I have been doing that even until now, even during trainings. Yeah, and I think that really, really helps.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think having positive reinforcement from your mind, it's such a powerful thing that a lot of people tend to look past and choose not to use it.
Yeah.
Not really choose not to use it. I guess they don't really know that it's a thing. But yeah, I'm glad it worked for you. And
Yeah.
I think I remember you feeling very, pardon the word, angry.
I think
at
I was
yourself.
more of like just everything, just pressure, angry, sad. I don't know what to feel. I was
Okay.
confused because that was like the first time I ever experienced that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
So,
could really I could sense your emotions from like a mile away. So
oh gosh.
I think another thing that helped was to sort of just channel your emotions to the lift itself. Like,
Yeah.
do you think that helped, or?
I think in a way, yes.
Mm,
Yes. Yeah. So with like the visualization and channeling the emotions into the lift, I think this two comes together
right.
to get the lift eventually. Yeah.
And I think despite that, we chose to open on your competition best in, I think, nationals, which was 85.
Yes,
Yeah,
correct.
but sadly we had to repeat those numbers. And I think moving past your squat depth, yeah, basically she didn't get her first two attempts due to squat depth, and it was rectified quite easily post nationals. I think I remember we wanted to change the heels, and then
Yeah.
like we just scrapped the idea, and I think we just made a few changes to your stance, and then that was fine after that.
Yeah.
So moving on to bench, you didn't quite snag the record that you wanted. Was it 70 back then?
I think it was 68.
68, right?
Yeah.
And your second attempt was a 65,
Yeah.
and I think it was either 67 and a half or 68. And like, if you pick between the two, there isn't really much of a difference. So I guess that was the decision behind choosing the attempt for your third.
Mm.
And did you did mention that you felt nervous?
Yeah.
Was it similar to the nervousness of bombing out, or was it a different kind of nerve?
I think it was a very different kind of nervous.
Hmm.
Yeah, because whatever it is, I know that even if I don't get this third attempt, I still have a shot at deadlifts
Right.
to qualify for nationals. Like that's the ultimate goal.
So you felt less pressure.
Less pressure, definitely.
And
Yeah.
would you say it was better or worse?
I think it was better. It was better than the pressure of bombing out. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And while you didn't manage to quite get it, how did you feel after that?
Oh, I was really sad, but that didn't really like affect me for long because I just knew that okay, it's probably like I just probably have to train harder.
And not
That's
think
it.
so much, because you
Yeah,
did
and
mention
not
a bit of overthinking.
yeah.
Right. And despite all that, you still PR'd your total by 35 kilos. Like, you almost bombed out and you still did that. It was really good. And
Yay.
now, moving forward to nationals. Oh yeah, just to mention, you were quite, compared to your competitors in the meet in November, you were quite far ahead of your other competitors. And coming into nationals, I believe it was uh, 4 people, including yourself, contending for the title of national champion.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
did that add on to the pressure in the meet? Like, did you feel the pressure from your competitors, or were you just focused on yourself?
I definitely felt a lot of pressure. I think there was more than 4 people, right?
Yes, there was way more than 4 people, but the top 4 were like, I think, within 10 kilos of each other.
Yeah. Yeah. I was very, very pressured. Very. Because one wrong move and yeah, I'll just fall short.
And we made a couple of wrong moves at nationals, which we will talk about.
Mm.
So at nationals, you blew your squat up. You went from like 85 to 105 for your second attempt.
Yeah.
And we had the decision. So I was working with Alif, who's also coached by Kelly. Alif and we made the decision. I guess Alif was more on the safer side and I was more on the ambitious side. So we opted for 110 and it didn't really come up. And I guess in hindsight, 107 was the correct selection. And how do you feel about missing a third squat?
Actually, it was like it didn't really affect me. Yeah,
Right.
because 110 in my mind was far-fetched at that point in time.
Yeah, because I think your best squat in training was 102 back then.
102. Yeah, 102.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And 105 moved really well. It convinced me to load 110, but it felt did the attempt feel heavy on your back, and like, were you nervous?
I think I was more nervous than anything else. Yeah, so
Okay.
the weight just felt different. So
So
probably
we're seeing a recurring theme over here.
yeah.
So moving on to bench now. What happened? Could you walk us through the bench press?
Okay. I think for bench, I have this tendency to slow down just before I reach my touch point.
Yes.
And that has led me to getting a very, very long pause command.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think your first attempt had like a 3 count pause.
Yeah.
And you still got it up. It's
Yeah.
just that
Surprisingly.
you didn't really get it up for the second and third.
Yeah. Yeah.
So was it a strength issue? Or
Um, Strength issue. No, I don't think it was a strength issue because I have hit that particular weight. I think it was 65, right? The second attempt.
67?
67, yeah. I have hit that weight during training, so I don't think it was a strength issue, but more of like just that one tech issue that has led me to not get the press command.
Right.
Then,
And
yeah.
just to talk a bit about it post nationals,
Mm.
what have you done to fix it, and has it been effective?
Okay. I think we have incorporated a lot more drills before bench, and I think that really, really helped. Yeah. And I think the issue also lies with my, like somewhere around my arm area being super duper tight. So I've been going for like regular massages to
Yeah,
get it
like
fixed.
once every month, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, got to keep yourself healthy.
Yeah.
So, deadlifts also not the best showing. Uh, you you got your third attempt up, but you bobbled at the top, so there was a bit of downward motion. And
Yeah.
based on your expression, I see a tinge of
Oh,
regret over there. Do you feel
yeah.
that way? Okay, so
Yeah.
uh,
Okay.
yeah, walk us through.
Okay. Okay. Actually, before I went out for my third attempt, you came up to me and you were like, "Can we load 150?" So I was like, "Okay, 150." Then when
Yeah,
I went out, I saw the plates, but I didn't know what's the calculation because it
right.
wasn't like a two red and one yellow
Green.
kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah, it was like green and something. And I wasn't wearing my specs, so I was like blind.
Okay.
So I walked out and I was like, it's probably 150, I
Right.
think. Yeah. So I just pulled, I was like, I think it's,
Not
yeah,
150.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
So to give the viewers a bit more context, the goal
yeah.
was to load 150 to pull for the win. But Alif lost your attempt card, and we couldn't really change the attempt after that. So, it's fine.
It's
It just
fine.
means that we'll get more at Worlds. Yeah, and you put like 150 at twice in a week, and it was relatively easy. So, post nationals, it's been about 4 months already, and do you feel like there's a difference in your numbers, in your training, and in your mindset when compared to your prep for Worlds and your prep for nationals?
Okay. I think the goals are very, very different when I prep for nationals and now when I prep for Worlds. And there's a different kind of pressure. For nationals, the goal was to get a ticket to Worlds. And now
Yes.
that I have this ticket, how am I going to push myself to do better? Yeah, so I would say that there's definitely a big change in numbers. And this is brought about because of like the change in mindset, I feel. Yeah, because I think I pressure myself more this time around, to want to push myself better, um, and to of course be more focused at trainings, and yeah, to make every training session count. So I think there's definitely a difference between then and now, and in terms of like numbers, everything, just everything.
So you did say you were more locked in terms of your mindset.
Yeah.
Could you tell us more about that for Worlds?
Um,
Yeah.
for Worlds, okay. I know that there's going to be like a lot of people that I can't win, possibly. But if I'm going to be traveling that far, at least I should try my best to make the best out of it. Yeah, and um, after missing the bench record at Reformed and not being where I want to be close anywhere, but anywhere close for bench at nationals, I want to like definitely push for more at Worlds. Yeah, so
Okay. Yeah. And would you say that has impacted your training positively?
yes, I think that has, and also like the change in training environment. Like now,
Yes.
like, training at Strength Masters, right? Like
Yes.
with for me, I think that the people training there are definitely stronger, which
Thank you.
pushes
Thank you.
me. Yeah, which
That's great.
definitely pushes me to want to do better as well.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
And we talked a bit about your mindset and how has it developed over the years? Like, did you play any sports in the past that sort of develop your mindset from a young age?
Yeah. Okay.
So,
So for swimming, like I did swimming in okay, since I was like super duper young, longer than I can remember. But
mm,
yeah, I did swimming till I was in the varsity team. So I stopped swimming this year. This year was my last meet. Yeah, and I would say that playing a competitive sport since young has definitely shaped my mindset to always want to push myself and to um, just not complain about trainings being tough. Yeah.
yeah, I think you're like one of the people who like never complain to me.
I think if I was trained from young.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. But if anything happens in training, yeah, feel free to let me know.
Yeah, I
I'll
will.
take it with an open mind. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess if there was one thing you'd attribute most from competing since young, what would it be? And how have you applied it to powerlifting?
Ooh, I would say, I would say like, in the broad sense, like sportsmanship, in terms of like, okay, even if you didn't do as well as you wanted to, or like you didn't perform as expected, you're not gonna like just give up after. Like you're just going to push yourself even harder after that. So that's something I have like applied to in
That's great.
powerlifting as well.
Yeah, you're still here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess from swimming, how did Glynnis make her way into powerlifting?
Ooh. Um, how did I make my way into powerlifting? Okay, I actually stopped doing sports for a very long time. Okay, like a good 3-4 years. Not very long, but relatively long for me. And then one day I just decided to just start gymming, like casually just gymming. And then I got interested in powerlifting after seeing like powerlifters lift
Which gym
weight.
was that?
Tai Chi,
Right. Okay.
fitness, yeah. So I was just around, and then there are a lot of people like around like our age that's like doing this. I was like curious. Yeah, so I was like, maybe I could try.
Mm.
So yeah. So here I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now that we're about less than 8 weeks out,
Yeah.
what are you looking forward to the most at Wolves?
Oh, I'm most definitely looking forward to meeting a lot of strong people. Like it's just cool to meet them in real life.
Yeah.
Yeah, and of course the experience there, the experience to like lift on a
The whole
world
stage. Yeah.
stage. Yeah, yeah.
Have you, I guess, do you have anyone in mind that you really want to meet?
Oh my gosh, there's so many people. Oh,
Right.
and Tiffany Chaperon.
Yeah,
Like,
you'll be competing alongside her.
yeah,
Yeah.
she's super strong.
Yeah, she
So
is.
excited.
Anyone else in mind that you have always wanted to meet?
Oh my gosh. Oh my god, I can't think at the top of my head, but there's like the whole list of people.
Right.
There's
Okay.
just so many people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I guess it is your first Worlds, right?
yeah,
Because it's your first time stepping on the world stage. We've been seeing a recurring theme of nerves. Do
yeah.
you expect it to be the same way for you in about 7 to 8 weeks?
I think the nerves are definitely going to be there, but
Okay.
I think if I can channel it to become good nerves, then hopefully it'll be good. Hopefully.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think I don't know if I've talked to you about this like in person, but do you have any goals for Worlds?
Ooh, goals. I think goals is to um definitely push all my numbers up, hitting all PRs and getting a good total as well.
Right.
I think total. Like I want to push my total as much as possible.
Do you have a number in mind?
Mm, mm,
Is that a
oh,
no?
I've been thinking, but I don't know if like it's a good number.
Right.
So yeah,
That's okay.
yeah. So definitely,
And
mm,
you can go on.
like somewhere if I can, like 3-5 plus.
Right.
Yeah, if I can. Yeah, but I'll put
And
what's there lah. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
And 3.5 is a really huge number because at nationals earlier this year at April, you hit 305, and in about 5 months from then, you're aiming to add about 50 kilos to your total.
yeah.
And how has the process been? Like, do you think it's realistic? Do you think, what are your numbers now? And do you feel like you are able to achieve it in 7 to 8 weeks?
Okay, I think it is half realistic, half a dream.
Okay.
But then again, I have this runway of like 7 to 8 weeks, and during this time, I feel like if I stay locked in and do whatever I can for now, whatever is at the meet day itself, I'll just take it. Yeah, and then I wouldn't have any like regrets of like. So even if I don't hit a 3-5 something,
If you
um,
got all your kilos on the
yeah,
platform there is on the day, I think you would be very happy.
yeah,
Because despite that, despite not hitting 350, I think you would still basically blow past your numbers at nationals.
mm, mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
And in 7 to 8 weeks, moving past that, moving past Worlds, do you have any plans for the future? Do you plan to return to your debut? Like, do you plan to return to your weight class where you debuted in the 57? Or it is your last junior year, so
Yeah.
do you see any? Do you have any competitions in mind that you wanna go for after Worlds as a junior?
Okay. After Worlds, probably going back to 57.
Is there a
Then
reason why?
yeah, so I can enjoy food a little less. Um, like I'll feel less guilty about enjoying more food.
Fair
And
enough.
I've been eating a lot. So yeah. Um, I'm so sorry. Okay.
What?
Um, I don't know if you could hear the background,
Oh,
but okay.
right.
Sorry, yeah, back to the question. Am I planning to compete again? You mean as a 57 or as a 52?
In general, like,
In general.
if like you want to achieve more in the 52s, if you want to achieve more like before ending your junior years, yeah, tell us more.
Okay. As a 52, if I don't get a goal, or like if I don't reach my goal for, let's say, example, bench, then I will probably be back for a local meet.
Okay.
Yeah, but if not, then I will most probably be on my way to prepare for opens and to compete in the opens as a 57. Yeah.
And how do you feel about that?
Um, a lot of things. Because that's where I came from, like the weight class where I came from.
And you'll be seeing some familiar faces, right?
Yeah, and they are strong. So going up one weight class also means that I need to get my numbers even higher. So
And you'll have a much easier time because like you'll be building like a whole weight class up worth of muscle, and
yeah.
that's gonna do a lot to your total.
Mm.
So before we end the episode, is there anything else you'd like to say?
Oh. Is there anything I would like to say? Yeah, all the best to everyone going to Worlds, Junior
Okay.
World, and yeah.
All right. So thank you for tuning in, and thank you for joining us, Glynnis.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
You're welcome. And I will see you guys in the next episode. See you guys.